This is an artist's worst nightmare, the infamous blank white page. It's here that every single drawing throughout history has had their humble beginnings. Underneath every masterpiece, every stick figure, every funny-looking dog that a child draws is the blank white page. It is the foundation and birthplace of all art. And yet, at the same time, the sight of the blank white page remains one of the most universally hated by artists. And so why is this? Why is such an integral and unassuming part of the art-making process so disliked? Well, it's because every artist has faced many a moment in their lives where they sat down, excited, wanting to draw, only to stare at that blank white page and not be able to come up with anything. But a blank white page offers infinite possibilities. There are an unlimited number of things you can draw, paths to take, ways to begin. How is it possible that when given all of these options, an artist has nothing to draw? It's certainly not because of a lack of effort or motivation. And in fact, this infinite number of options is exactly what makes the blank white page so intimidating and overwhelming. Where do I begin? How should I begin? What do I want to draw? In the face of unlimited possibilities, it is incredibly easy to shy away. And this is why the first step is often the most difficult to take. It's not that the action itself is somehow more difficult, but rather it's a mental barrier, hesitation, fear, and anxiety that stands in the way of creation. As philosopher, poet Suzy Kassem once put it, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. And so how do we solve this problem? How do we tackle this mountain of an obstacle that is the blank white page? How do we decide between an infinite number of seemingly indistinguishable actions? Well, the answer is you don't. The answer is to just make a random mark on the page and see where it takes you. Don't overthink it, because it doesn't matter whether that action is right or wrong, whether it has rhyme or reason. What matters most is simply the action of making that mark in the first place. For instance, a few months ago, I was in that exact same situation again, wanting to draw, to create, but utterly failing. After sitting there for what seemed like an eternity, I told myself that I'd had enough. I told myself that I didn't care what I did, I just needed to do something, anything. And so I made a random scribble. Here's that scribble that I made. And for many of you, this might not seem like anything that revolutionary. After all, it's just a random black blob on a white background. But for me at the time, this was exactly what I needed. You see, it's incredibly difficult to create something from nothing. But now that I had something tangible to work with, something I could mold and change, all of a sudden, the process of creating seemed so much more straightforward. I no longer had to ask myself all of those scary questions. Where do I begin? How should I begin? Because here was that beginning. And so from there, I began to make more marks, take more steps. I added, and I added, and I added, until I got here. Now, let's just look at those two images side by side for a second. As you can see, my initial scribble is completely gone. It's not present in my final drawing whatsoever. It looks as if it could have never existed and it would have made no difference. And that is okay. It was never meant to be anything final. That initial scribble was just meant to be the catalyst to jumpstart the process of creation, to get me to start moving. As you might have guessed by now, this isn't just a talk on how to begin a drawing. And the blank white page isn't just a literal sheet of paper. It's anything with options that are seemingly endless, options that paralyze you because you don't even know where to begin. Like many, my parents have always pushed me to find my passion, what I wanted to do in life. And like many, for me, this task was extremely daunting. How was I supposed to pick what I wanted to do for the rest of my life? Again, the options seemed endless, and it was impossible for me to pick any one thing. Until one day, my older brother, who was about to leave for art class, randomly asked me if I wanted to go along with him. I had no reason to go with him. I had never drawn before. I didn't even have the slightest clue that I might enjoy drawing. I could have simply stayed home and walked away from the page. But instead, I decided to make that first mark, take that blind shot in the dark. I went with my brother, and I found out that I really liked making art. And while I didn't know it back then, that random decision to join my brother on that day led me to discover my passion. All of a sudden, that looming pressure to decide my future seemed just a little less scary. Under immense pressure, even the most mundane and trivial of tasks can seem Herculean. And in those situations, the best thing you can do is to just make a random first mark. As Lao Tzu once said, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It's recognizing that, yes, I don't know where this action will lead me, what the end product will be, but I'm still going to start moving because it is better than standing still. To reach our end goals, to create change, we cannot fall to inaction. We need to keep moving even if we don't know where we're going. And so, the next time you're facing that blank white page, hesitant of what decision to make, just remember, don't overthink it. Make that first mark, take that first step, and maybe, just maybe, that scary blank white page full of infinite possibilities will seem just a little less scary, a little less overwhelming, and just a little more manageable. Thank you.